It was lit.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We got some good stuff to talk about today. Market's looking pretty good. This is a very classic long setup that you guys know I look for. So we'll jump into that soon. Before I get started, I want to give a couple shout outs to some sponsors. First of all, Bybit. They are my preferred derivatives trading exchange. And then Trader Joe. Shout out to these guys. They also just started their Banker Joe. Banker Joe posted this sweet video. You can borrow up to 80% on stables, up to 75% on AVAX, etc. But basically, they're becoming your all-in-one swap, farm, lending, borrowing, all for the Avalanche ecosystem. So very bullish on that. I hold Joe myself. I actually stake it so I can get more of it. So they are killing it. And then lastly, if anyone needs a VPN, you can check out NordVPN in the description. It's probably one of the cheapest, the best VPN you can get for the price. So some cool stuff we got going on. Let's jump into some of the analysis. We'll get started right away here. Good to see you all in here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come hang out. All right. So Bitcoin, we'll start with the 3-day because I've actually been looking at this a little bit. We have weekly SR up here, SR down here, really nice flip of this level, and then push up. But now we are kind of at that last major resistance level that we need to make sure we can get above. We have 3-day supply right here, and then this weekly SR level as well. So this candle also closes in 2 hours, so we're about to have the 3-day close. The daily doesn't look that bad though. Like, I'm not too worried about this. The sweep is actually a bullish sign for me personally. But yeah, so we're at the most important resistance on the chart, this 58K, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, I guess you could make a case that this is one last important SR level here. You could have one of these right at this high. But for now, we'll focus on the resistance at hand. So in general, if we get above this level, I feel pretty confident that Bull Run 2.0 is upon us, that we are just going to continue ripping. But I'm not really sure I expect that on the very first try. Like, I could see this consolidate here for a little bit, something like that, or pull back to around here, consolidate in the low 50s, and then go back up. Because, I mean, we've been going vertical since the beginning of October, basically. And we're up. I mean, we went up over 40% since that without much consolidation. So maybe we start to get a little bit of consolidation here. So it's looking pretty good. Zooming in a little bit more, though, this was a nice long opportunity. You guys know I love my Mondays ranges, and we just swept that low. Personally, like, I think that would be a good long position, but since it closed way up here, like, you could have missed it because the wick just happened really fast. But if you're in this, I would kind of target this 56.5 and then also Monday's high up here. So that would kind of be the plan for now. If we can flip the mid-range, I'd feel pretty good about getting up to Monday's high. But I think I lean towards Bitcoin just ranging a little bit more here. Like, maybe we do something like this, take out the high, just spend some time consolidating because we have just been going vertical. I mean, we consolidated a bit here, but other than that, we've been going pretty vertical. So that's kind of the idea with Bitcoin. Ethereum is also just kind of consolidating. I haven't marked up my new levels. Oops. That weekly open has held pretty well. Let's look on here quickly because we got some more stuff marked already. So this week's weekly open is holding. We didn't wick down and take out Monday's low on the Ethereum chart, but this is just... There's not much for me to do here with Ethereum. It kind of feels like it's in the middle of nowhere, and I think there are some better opportunities with other coins right now. AVAX made a move below Monday's low, and now we're reclaiming it, trying to hold it right now. If this gets above last week's low, which is this level right here, then I'd be interested in some longs. So let me mark that up on this chart, make it a little cleaner, delete some of these other lines. Because sometimes you guys ask how I mark up a clean chart, so let's do it. Actually, I won't even show you guys this way. We'll mark it up manually. So to get last week's range, we're going to switch to a weekly time frame, magnet on last week's high to last week's low. I do this in blue like that. Zoom in a little. So that is last week's range. I'll go to the hourly, and then we'll throw on our sessions. This was Monday. Monday's high. Monday's low. There you have it. All right. So I would say the major long signal for this would be if we can get above last week's low right here, this blue level, and you can also see that's where the last high was right there before we broke down more. So breaking that gives us a nice break in market structure, and then we look for a retest of that general area. Take profits would be Monday's high here and there, right? So that looks pretty good. Sol was absolutely gorgeous. Avalanche did a full avalanche, eh? AVAX ETH. Yeah, I know it's bearish. Oh, actually, I mean, if this was any other chart, I look for it to start getting bullish right around here. I don't remember what you said about it yesterday, Jared, but this region is where I would start to look for a bounce. I don't really know if TA works really well on these, well, like that kind of a thing, but maybe we take out, like if this was some random chart, this is pretty much what I would look at. Maybe we take out that low and then get going. Since it's not, it might act a little differently, but overall the weekly, I would say the weekly is at support here. So that is a good sign. Check the 4 hour. I mean, I guess this doesn't really look like that crazy of a pullback. We went vertical, kind of bled down. Now we look for our next leg. This would be great to see for us AVAX bulls. So back to Sol. We had this nice demand level here right at this previous SR. It got a little broke through here, but then we reclaimed it and then held it really well throughout this area. And then this was the last bit of selling before we broke out. Now we've come right back down to retest that. It lined up incredibly well where Monday's low was like right above that level. Came down, swept it, reclaim, perfect retest, triple tap, whatever you want to call it, and push up from there. So Sol is looking pretty good, but once again, like the long opportunity was a few hours ago, in my opinion. But if we go to this chart where I have a little more info, so same kind of thing with AVAX. Last week's range is this high and this low, and then you can see we consolidated below it, took out the low, and then pumped, right? So now I would look for a retest of this little consolidation, which also lines up very well with last week's low, the previous week's range low, whatever you want to call it. So if we get a retest around that 145 area, looking at it on a clean chart like this, retest of this region, something like that. Maybe we get a early pullback, or a pullback early in the day. So, what's up, Rec Proof? Are we long in Link? But yeah, this is the plan for Sol, and I think this would be an opportunity to catch a higher time frame reversal like early on with a pretty tight entry. So RecProof says to long Link. Obviously haven't looked at Link in a while, but he might be using us as exit liquidity. I mean, the overall structure looks fine as long as like this general area holds. Consolidation, maybe it was accumulation, whatever you want to call it. Breakout, retest, and then pump. At least that's what we would that's what we'd like to see. So I don't know exactly what RecProof setup is. I assume it's probably something like that. But let's see what other levels we got around here. It's about to get back above Monday's low, so that is that's a plus for me. And let's let me delete some of this stuff. We'll do the same thing we did with AVAX. Last week's range, zoom in, session breaks, Monday, here to here, then clear this, so it looks a little cleaner. So what I would want to see from Link is getting above Monday's low and then breaking back within this blue level, which you can see nice support here, resistance there. So once we flip back above that resistance, this would look good. And then we also got these nice equal highs right here around 28 as a target. So this looks pretty good. Looks pretty solid. And if RecProof says to long it, then I guess we should probably all listen to him. Sorry. Wow, Bitcoin close day Chad hourly candle right here. But now we're coming up back into this resistance, so we might get a little rejection there. Something like that. This was an awesome setup. I just wasn't around to catch it earlier. FTT has been quite the trade. It has teased me multiple times, thinking that I was in the clear, and it just always keeps coming back to my entry. So I've been in this trade for 3 weeks. And once again, I mean, I think getting above around 58.60 is going to be the confirmation of sorts that the low is in, and at that point I would move my stop loss up to whatever the low is before breaking back above that. So I'm okay with this. It's a little annoying that it keeps coming back down to my entry, but as long as this gray level holds, I really can't cut the trade because it wouldn't be invalidated. So gotta leave this one open. Gotta keep riding it out, see what happens. I remember you giving us alpha that AVAX was going to 60 a month ago when I was on the Spain vacation. Didn't take a long back then. Lesson learned. We had a really nice setup on AVAX. Like, this pullback was just the most obvious bull flag, cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, and it ripped to 80 from like 40. So that was definitely a good one. I think AVAX will get back in the spotlight a bit later, and if I'm not mistaken, this looks like a good classic breaker setup. But yeah, FTT, I got nothing much to do with it other than just stay patient and hope for the best. You know, it could be this like 4-hour supply here that's capping price. So maybe I'll that would probably be the safer time to move my stop loss when that gets flipped. So just gotta stay patient. Just gotta stay patient. Luna's a little bit of a trickier one. I think a lot of these coins you can get away with kind of marking the weekly open across the board, and if that gets flipped, then it's gonna look pretty good with some of the altcoins. No voice at the moment. Sometimes I pause talking. Why don't I have a tutorial for understanding TA for beginners? Because people have already made good ones. Right here. Look up Crypto Cred on Twitter and go through this Google Doc that has everything you need to know as a beginner. Like, if you just want to get started, I don't think there's a better place to go than that. That's how I would look at it. DYDX has been consolidating for a while. I'm not like super interested in trading this, but I mean, it looks bullish. It's one of the better looking coins out there, you know. Like, this is the exact support that you would want to see it hold. So as long as it stays above that, I would say it's quite bullish. You guys want to see a Rect Proof's chart on link? Here it is. Nice little range right here. Take out the low. Break out. Perfect mid-range interaction. And now we'll look for that sweep back into it. Push it. Run it back up to the other side. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty solid. Good job, Rect Proof. What happened to geckos? Well, I think they're still doing fine. The floor's at like 28 or something like that, but there was some drama with them not wanting to be listed on Alpha Art or whatever that place is called for legal reasons, and then it just got very blown out of proportion. I responded to one of the tweets. Probably shouldn't have gotten into it, but it is what it is. I'm still bullish on the geckos. You think they're bad for NFTs, ST? Sold all your geckos and got away from that centralized BS. I probably wouldn't call it that, but hey, to each their own. Some people are puking some. It is what it is. But yeah, just some drama with Alpha something. Alpha Market, Alpha Art Alpha. I forget what the place is called. But yeah. Sticking on the NFT side of things, we have been doing pretty well. We minted a bunch of these. The floor is, I guess, 2.9 right now. The first wave of minting was like 0.25 Sol. Next wave was 0.33. So they've been doing pretty well, and then NeoNexus is a project that I'm very excited about as well. So a lot of people on CT think that alts will pull back much more when BTC rallies to all-time high. What's your opinion on that? And what do you think? That's a good question. I think if Bitcoin rips hard, like I think BTC alt BTC pairs are gonna get a little hurt. But I don't like. I think some of the USD pairs will still see a nice bounce. But it's hard to tell. It kind of just depends how it happens. And like, if Bitcoin does consolidate for a while, it gives alts some time to move. Like a few alts have been doing well. I don't think that's correct, ST. They have the exact same terms and conditions as like Bored Ape Yacht Club and Meebits and all those other NFTs, and no one's ever freaked out about those terms and conditions, but they're the same ones. At least that's how I understood it. The tower greater than NeoNexus? Few. I wouldn't say few people think that. I've been talking about the tower a lot in my free Discord. So I'll definitely be minting that. NeoNexus, the tower, and artificial irrelevance are the three like higher conviction NFT plays that I've been talking about over the last couple weeks. So BTC has been outperforming alts. Why am I looking for alts? I'm not necessarily just looking for alts. I mean, I think, like I said, Bitcoin was a great long after it swept Monday's low, but now it's pushing back up into this like breakdown point. So, like, I don't expect it to rip right through, and if it does, I think you go hard longing Bitcoin. Like, break 58 and this will look incredible. The tower is dope though. That's kind of the last project that I know of right now that I'm excited for the minting. D-Gods or whatever look pretty interesting, but I feel like I missed out on them a little bit because they already started ripping. I know they're minting. They kind of botched their minting or something like that, but I wasn't around. It looks interesting though. How to determine how an NFT project is a good one. Community, if the art's unique or not. If the team seems engaged, things like that. I think you can just spend like a bit of time in a Discord and have a good idea of how things, or like of if people are invested in it, if the team is excited about it, if they have high views or whatever for the project. I'm here for the cause, Dow. Yeah, Goblin Laboratory looks interesting. That community is indeed absolutely insane. I think Goblin does a really good job with art. Like, it's not a low effort cash grab by any mean. Like, it all is pretty impressive stuff. So I think it could do well. So I guess that one too. The tower and what's it called? And the Goblin, I guess it's called Goblin Laboratory. The tower and Goblin Laboratory are two good ones. Or at least in my opinion, that I will be looking forward to. We just talked about D-Gods. Any good CT NFT guys? DeesFi has a good list, like a very extensive list of NFT Twitter accounts. So you can check that out. Don't let people in goblins yet. Everyone knows about the goblins, bro. There's like 25,000 people in that Discord. It's not a secret. I haven't seen Jungle Freaks yet. Does it look cool? Do we think it's a solid one? I'm not sure what NFTs would do if Bitcoin rips. I think good ones could continue to do well. Is it strictly NFTs? We were talking strictly charts for like 30 minutes. Now I guess it's just Q&A. There's only so many charts that I'm looking at the same time. No worries, Harry. Insider updates on Apex. Team's working hard. I'm still bullish on it. Is what I would say. Definitely still bullish on it. I think once AVAX starts I think once AVAX starts ripping again, I think Apex can start doing the same. What up, Spaceman? Ended up FOMO buying some Bitcoin at 57. How do you fix it? I think it just comes down to I don't know if there's any like single rule or something to fix that. You could try and limit yourself to only using limit orders instead of market orders. That might help you from FOMOing into a pump. I think if we break this 58, 59K level, if we can break that level, then I absolutely think that we'll see a green Q4. Spaceman's levels indicator is pretty great. What do I think of mechas? I think they are, I mean, they're like one of the most hyped NFT projects ever. Like if you got one, you scored. Isn't the floor at like 8 Ethereum from like, and you got it for like 0.2? So, ape only in 7. Oh yeah, that's right. The ape only revival. I am excited for that too. That is coming up. It's hard for AVAX altcoins to pump if AVAX isn't doing well. But like we were looking at the beginning, the AVAX Ethereum chart is starting to turn around. Came here for the first time, never missing any live again. It's already 4 a.m. at my place. Got to change my sleep cycle. Appreciate you tuning in. I try to switch up the time of the streams every now and then to accommodate multiple time zones. So, but it's good to have you here. Can I show you how to buy Apex? There's a very good buying and bridging guide that I can send a link of. I see it going up a long way up is my opinion. I'm like, there aren't many $5 million market cap coins that you can like buy knowing you won't get rugged. So invert the chart color? No, I don't think so. I like the white charts. Sorry, man. You want me to look at Matic? I'll look at it here. I mean, it looks pretty good, actually. Holding this support, like this little range we created down here. Took out last week's low and Monday's low. Now we're back above it. I would say this looks pretty bullish. I'm just joined. What did I miss with the geckos? I'm still bullish on the geckos. I think some of what the team said wasn't perfect, but I'm sure they will make some amends. I feel like they're very committed to the project. I don't think it's just going to disappear or go to zero or something like that. So. Am I still in the FTT trade? Yes, I am. Where can you find the Apex chart? On ChartX. I can send a link. Give me just a sec. But it's not the most beautiful chart you'll ever see. Thanks, man. I'm a fan of that gecko too. I think that's one of the coolest ones that I have. Good to see you, Spaceman. Talk soon. Honestly, guys, this may end up being a little shorter stream than usual. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Main points: if Bitcoin breaks above 58.5, bull run 2.0 is upon us, and I think we just start ripping hard. And if Bitcoin prints some setup like this and gets above that, I think you long this heavily. Like I think that's the play. Ethereum, I'm kind of holding off on a little bit. I guess I'm just doing a quick summary of stuff we talked about earlier. AVAX, break above 55-ish, and this will look pretty good. Sol, retest of 145, and I'd look to long. FTT, I'm still in this. But the kicker is, like, if Bitcoin does something like this, you really want to make sure you catch it, because alts probably won't do as well if we just keep going straight up. And so you want to make sure you're on board with Bitcoin. But I will look for some leverage longs on alts if those setups do play out, and then I would and I mean, like, if they move slower than Bitcoin and Bitcoin does this, I'm still taking this trade as well. So that's kind of my stance. But some say 61K is the main resistance. I mean, I guess it kind of depends how you look at it. I don't think 61 really. I mean, what I was saying at the beginning is that you could make a case for this level right here and this level. I think that could be like another level that could provide some trouble. So I guess you're not fully in the clear if you break 58.5, but if you do, I think you get a pretty quick move up to 62. And then at that point, it's like, all right, we'll see what happens here. And if you flip that, I mean, then it's kind of just obvious. We're in straight up price discovery mode. So that's pretty much it, and we'll take the other stuff as it comes. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been like a little bit tired today, so I apologize if this stream hasn't been up to par with the usual ones, but appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you again in a video soon. Hope you all have had a good start to the week.